Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode where we at 335. Welcome to a Tuesday. I was not live yesterday. Decided to just kind of sleep in. So didn't go live yesterday. But now I've got a whole bunch of things to talk about, a bunch of topics to discuss. The title is 1 Million Cubs Project will be featured on the Card Life TV show. That episode will begin airing this week. I do have somewhat of a schedule that I can share with you. I also want to talk about I broke my my July my July buying hiatus. I broke that because a couple weeks ago, or probably 2 weeks ago, I was talking about the Renato Galasso magazines from the early 80s. And then Mark Hoyle showed off some things that I went searching, went down that eBay rabbit hole. I only spent $10 and I think it's a great deal. So I'll show off my eBay purchase. Topps released their 2022 design last week. I forgot to mention that on one of the weekend shows. So I want to touch on that. The Olympics begin this week. I think Friday night is the opening ceremonies. I'm excited for that. I have a ton of, and when I say a ton of, probably 5,000 to 6,000 single Olympics singles from 2016 that I'm going to be pushing out there on eBay. And Golden Auctions has a new auction out. And usually I don't follow these big time auctions, but I've just been curious because of the Michael Jordan PSA that just ended from PWCC. So I've kind of started following, and I've been following the Jordan. I've been following the Jordan prices recently, so I want to touch on that. So let's talk about the Card Life TV show. Episode 1 is already airing. It began airing a month ago, end of June. That featured A.J. Dillon of the Packers, featured, I think, Scottsdale Cards. They found some 1990 Topps blacklists, and that's the Frank Thomas no-name error card. So they talked about that. So that was on the first episode. They had a camera crew, a crew of one, come to my house in early June and recorded. So that's going to be featured on the second episode, which debuts Wednesday this week, tomorrow. They also talked to my buddy Ryan, Ripping One-Handed. He's going to be on the show, and I think they also they weren't able to go to Stevens Point, Wisconsin, to Larry Fritch Cards, one of the if not the first mail order card shops. They opened up in the early 70s. So I think Matt Stram ordered some cards from Larry Fritch Cards. So the Card Life TV show debuts this Wednesday. I broke down, I found the TV schedule. It's on Bally Sports Network. So if you get any Bally Sports Network wherever you are, it should be on at some point. So here in Wisconsin, the debut episode 4:30, I think it's on after the Brewers game. So that could be subject to, depending on when the Brewers game ends. So Wednesday afternoon, 4:30 Central this week. And then again, a replay at 10:30 p.m. It'll air a few hours later at 2:30 in the morning on Thursday. And then again, Thursday morning at 8:30, Thursday at 5 p.m. It will air, and then through the weekend and next week and for the next 3 weeks, because it will air throughout the month. So since it's a Wisconsin heavy episode, it'll be on Bally Sports Wisconsin more than some of the other regional networks. Bally Sports Midwest, which I know covers Illinois, they do the Cardinals games, I think, Wednesday night at 10:30 p.m. and then Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Bally Sports North, which is Minnesota, Saturday, a couple airings, 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. on Bally Sports North. Bally Sports Indiana, Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Bally Sports Florida will air it Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Bally Sports South Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. and then again Saturday morning at 3, Saturday at 6:30 p.m., Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Let's see, who else do we have that I know watches? Bally Sports Southwest Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. and Thursday at 3:30 p.m. So, and then I won't go on. There's others, but Card Life TV debuts. Second episode debuts Wednesday. I'll be on there. Ripping One Handed will be on there. Looking forward to seeing the final product. I did buy something, and I tweeted a picture out yesterday. So a couple of weeks ago, I was talking on here about the Renato Galasso magazines from the early 80s. Mark Hoyle showed off some 70s hobby publications, which I didn't know existed. I found one of them. It's the debut issue of Collectors Quarterly from 1975. How cool is this? And it's Fred Lynn from the Red Sox. Here's what the back cover looks like. Now, not only is the content is cool, but it's got the SSPC or TCMA, whatever the cards are. The cards are intact. Very cool. Unfortunately, no Cubs, but you've got not too many of them are. Let's see. Oh, Gaylord Perry's on here. Okay. Sam McDowell, Jack McKeon, Whitey Herzog. Let's see. Yogi Berra. I didn't even realize that's Yogi Berra in the Mets. Interesting. So yeah. So Keith Olbermann was the editor. Robert is it Laughlin? Robert Laughlin was the art director. Now Laughlin had those baseball greats, and I think there's actually an ad. Remember the baseball greats sets? It's in here somewhere. They were a set in like the 70s and early 80s. There they are. The famous feats. So he was the art director of Collectors Quarterly. And then Mike Ehrenstein? Yeah, Michael Ehrenstein was the publisher. Michael Ehrenstein is the A in TCMA. Actually, he's the MA, Michael Ehrenstein in TCMA. So that's a very cool. What's up, Zach? Good morning. So that was a cool little pickup. So I broke my hiatus on not buying in the month of July heading into the National, but it was $10, so I decided to splurge. What else did I have to talk about today? The Olympics opening ceremonies are Friday, so I'm looking forward to that. I have a bunch of Olympic singles from 2016 in my eBay store, and I'll be running some auctions. So looking forward to that. I was watching, I can't remember whose video I was watching. They were talking about the Olympics. It was last night. It was Herman and Ken. We're talking on Hobby Chat about the Olympics and just the different sports. So I get into swimming is probably one of my favorites. Some of the speed events in track and field, like the 100, the 200, gymnastics, some of those sports. I don't get into basketball. I don't find some of those. I don't find the main sports, what we consider the main sports, as interesting in the Olympics. But swimming is probably my favorite. And I think that stems from Michael Phelps. I'll never forget the atmosphere when Michael Phelps won how many ever gold medals that was it 2008? Was at a sports bar in Macomb when I lived in Illinois. And it was the coolest atmosphere in a bar setting for a sporting event that I've been to. Now, I wasn't in a bar setting for the Cubs World Series or, some of the other, big events. So, I'm sure being in a Wrigleyville bar during the World Series was more so. than in small Macomb, Illinois during the Olympics. But it was really cool to see like people like glued, like everybody in the bar glued to the TV, cheering a swimming race. It was fascinating. So I do like to follow the Olympics. 92 was when I was recording like on VHS the 92 games. I think was at Barcelona. I was a little young for Seoul in 88. I was only 6. I don't remember the 88 Olympics. But 92, I followed it very closely. Atlanta 96, was heavily into it. And then it was kind of like your interest changed once you get into high school and college, because 96, I would have been going into high school. And then 2000, I would have just graduated. And I don't remember. I couldn't tell you where the 2000 Olympics were. I couldn't tell you anything about the 2000 Olympics because I was off, doing things that, when you graduate high school, you do. And then I don't really remember 2004, but then 2008 is when I, started following it closely again. So opening ceremonies this week. Looking forward to the Olympic Games. John, what's up? John says Sydney was 2000. Okay. And it was Athens, was Greece 2004? I can't remember. So the Topps design came out for 2022. They showed the Wander Franco. I really love the design. I love borders. I like big changes year by year, so I know. And we haven't really seen that in the last 15, 20 years. Actually, going back to when it started to run together for me was 98, 99. I cannot tell the difference between 98 Topps and 99 Topps. I think 2000 had a silver border, so you could tell. 02 was that like orange bronze border, which I like. Most people don't like. I like the 2002. And then they all seem to like run together after that. But 2015, I like the 2015 border because it's different, stands out a little bit. But I like the 2022. We've got the border. You can read, and I know one of the big things was you could actually read the names. I hated 2021. This Topps design this year may be the worst Topps design ever. It's just absolutely horrendous. I hate it. So it was nice to see 2022. Some people are comparing it to Bowman, a Bowman design, which, hey, I love Bowman. So, I'm cool with that. For some reason, I care about Topps designs, but I could care less about Bowman designs. As much as I love Bowman, I just love the product. I really don't care what the design looks like. But Topps, maybe it's because I don't love Topps flagship. It's just, I love it because it's the first product of the year, Series 1. So when it comes out, I know that it's baseball is around the corner, and that, I'm here in Wisconsin and it comes out in January, February. And, it gives me hope that warm weather is on the way. So I always look forward to Series 1. And I love the design. And that's probably just going back to, your childhood, and Topps was king. And Topps was, every year you looked forward to Topps. And then, Donruss and Fleer were there and Score and Upper Deck later on. But, Topps was king. So I really love the design. And maybe, people that say it kind of looks like a Bowman design, maybe that's why I, tend to gravitate to it even more so, because I love Bowman. The only other thing I had for this morning, I had a lot of topics, but they were just kind of quick hitters. Golden Auctions has their summer premium auction. And I mentioned this at the beginning, that I haven't really followed high-end auctions like Golden or PWCC or some of the other auction houses very closely, though I did start following because I was tracking Michael Jordan sold prices. And I was doing so because my childhood card shop owner reached out to me, and he's actually a business partner with my brother. He reached out to me earlier this summer, maybe in May, He had a Jordan rookie. It's raw, but he's looking to possibly sell it. I looked it up, and from February to May or June, the price has just dropped drastically, like cut in half. So I told him, gonna have to get it graded to maximize your return. There's a backlog. It's gonna be expensive, but it's gonna more than pay for, selling it graded is gonna make up for the cost of actually grading it, because most people won't buy a raw Jordan rookie. So he's kind of mulling it. And so I've just kind of been tracking where those prices were going. And I tweeted this out the other day because something smelled really fishy in the most recent sale, which set a record. I was going to use air quotes, but I won't do that. So the Jordan rookie sold, Jordan PSA 10 rookie sold in, I think, January by Golden Auctions for, I think, a then record $740,000, I think was the final sale. And then the sales from Golden and other auction houses started to fall. The most recent sale was 2 weeks ago Sunday. So today, 18th. So like the 11th, July 11th or July 10th, Golden Auction sold a PSA 10 Jordan rookie, and the final auction bell rang at like $200-some thousand. So just a drastic decline from the peak in January, February. 1 week later, PWCC, which has been known for some shenanigans, they had a PSA 10 sell for over $800,000 just 1 week later. No documentaries, no deaths. That's kind of what is there a spike in value? It's the death or documentary syndrome. There was no death, no documentary, yet a huge spike from $200,000 to $800,000 in 1 week's time. Smells a little fishy. Who knows? So I kind of follow some of these higher end auctions. And Golden Auctions has their summer premium, and they have, talk about some premium items. They have a PSA 10 Larry Bird Magic Johnson rookie. There's still 18 days left in this auction, and the current bid is $280,000. Item number 2 is a 52 Topps Mickey Mantle SGC 7.5. It's currently at $150,000. How about this? A 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth autograph, and it's slabbed PSA DNA 7 on the signature. It's at $62,000 right now. There's also just an unsigned Gaudy Babe Ruth. It's a PSA 8, current bid $80,000. There's an Eddie Plank T206. It's a PSA 4, current bid $120,000. And then I'll get to one more cool auction. Joe Jackson signed South Carolina driver's license, Shoeless Joe autograph. It's PSA DNA. Actually, it does not have a bid. The minimum bid is $40,000. It does not have a bid. There's a Fernando Tatis rookie debut Superfractor auto. Current bid on that's $40,000. There is a Jordan Gem Mint 10 rookie. Wow. Okay. So it's already, the current bid is already higher than what the previous Golden Auction sale was, which I said was like $210,000 back on July 10th. The current bid on this one's $240,000. So maybe there wasn't shenanigans after all with that PWCC auction. A Gretzky PSA 9 O-Pee-Chee rookie, that's currently $66,000. There's an Ohtani orange refractor, first Bowman, BGS Gem Mint 9.5, 10 on the auto. Current bid $46,000 on that. But there's one item that I actually have a bid on. It is, when I saw it, I'm like, because I searched Cubs because I wanted to see, is there going to be any like high end, like vintage? Fortunately, the Cubs don't have like super high end. Like There's no 52 Mantle, 33 Gaudy Babe Ruth. We've got the 54 Ernie Banks, and then, pre-war, 1800s cards, which, aren't even close in the neighborhood to the Mantle Ruth cards. But there's one item that there's actually a few Cubs items that, are pretty cool. Oh, wow. I did not see this earlier. An 83 baseball unopened rack pack case. And it's already at over $2,000 on the bidding. Because I searched Sandberg. I searched Cubs the first time. So 1981, Ryan Sandberg game used debut jersey. Now it's not even a Cub, it's with the Phillies. And it's a fascinating story. I had a couple people on Twitter say Harry Carey's booze diary has to be high end. That would be pretty cool. So I had a couple people say, well, I don't think it's authentic, but if you go to the actual auction, just go to goldenauctions.com. And there's like a long explanation on this, and there's letters with it from Henderson authenticators. So what happened was Sandberg was at 24. Sandberg wore, I think, jersey number 24 when he was with the Phillies in spring training. But when he was called up in September of 1981, Len Matuszek was wearing jersey number 24 that Sandberg had worn in spring training. Now, in reading this documentation authentication letter, what they did, and I'm sure most MLB teams did this back in the day, they would reuse jerseys, but they would have nameplates, the stitched nameplates. So Sandberg, Matuszek, and they would, if a guy gets traded or released or sent back down, they would take off that nameplate and they would reissue the jersey and the jersey number. So Sandberg didn't make it to the big leagues in 1981 out of spring training. So he goes back to, I think Reading was AAA. So he goes back to Reading or Oklahoma City, one of the two. And they issue jersey number 24 to somebody who is new to the team, who's a similar size to Ryan Sandberg. And that was Len Matuszek, wore a similar size jersey. So Sandberg's 24 from spring training is given to Len Matuszek. So Matuszek is wearing 24. The Phillies had a prospect by the name of Jim Rasmussen, who apparently was a top prospect for a pitching prospect for a few years, was a similar size to Sandberg, and also the Rasmussen name. So where it was, where the nameplate would go, similar to Sandberg, Rasmussen Sandberg. So when Sandberg gets called up, Rasmussen is in the minor leagues. He's not in Philadelphia. So they issue Rasmussen's, spring training jersey to Ryan Sandberg, since Sandberg's 24 is taken. And Sandberg, they stitch Sandberg onto Rasmussen's old jersey, and Sandberg wears that jersey for his debut. And he only played like 13 games, 8 games, something like that with Philadelphia in the 81 season. Of course, we all know he's traded to the Chicago Cubs, and the rest is history. He becomes a Hall of Famer. So it's a fascinating story. I loved reading through it. And I put a bid. I'm still the high bidder. Now, I am not going to be the winning bidder on this because my high bid is going. I'm going to be outbid very soon. There's still 18 days left in this auction. The current bid is $2,300. My high bid is not too far above that. I think it's going to sell. I'm not a game used, expert by any stretch. I don't know the market. So my guess, my just kind of estimated, somewhat educated guess would be it's going to land somewhere in the 10 to 20,000 range. If it's outside of that, I would not be surprised. If it sells for more than that, I would not be shocked. If it sells for 25 or 30 grand, because it's so unique. It's almost priceless. You can't put a price on something like this. It's just such a unique item. If it sold for less than 10,000, I would be shocked. If it sells for less than 10K, I'm shocked. If it sells for more than 20K, I'm not surprised, because it's just one of those items that you find the right buyer. It only takes one. Well, it takes two, because they got to get into a bidding war. It only takes two to tango, and if you get the two buyers looking for unique Sandberg items, and there's a lot more high-end Sandberg collectors out. There's a lot of Sandberg collectors out there with a lot deeper pockets than mine. So I'm going to be bid out. I'm surprised I wasn't outbid already. Somebody else put a bid in because it was 2,100, and then it got bid up to 2,300 last night because I got a notification. Hey, you're still the high bidder. It's like, yeah, probably not for long. Probably tomorrow. So maybe I can enjoy 24 hours of knowing I was the high bidder on Ryan Sandberg's game used debut jersey, even though it's not with the Cubs. It's Sandberg. He is synonymous with the Chicago Cubs. So it's an awesome item. Would love to have it as the centerpiece of my collection, but it's going to go way above my pay grade. So fun while it lasts, I guess. So that's what I had. A lot of just boom, boom bullet points today. I'll probably be live tomorrow. Did get a lot of shipping caught up last night, so that's a good thing. I've had some trade requests come in. I've got to hold off on all of those until after the National. In fact, I still have I'm still backlogged on a few trades from months ago. I've got a couple guys looking for things at the National that I probably won't even have time to sort through. I've got to find some Bears cards, and I won't have the time to sort. My Rockies guy Howard reached out to me. We've traded like 1,000 Cubs for 1,000 Rockies in the past couple of years. He reaches out the other day and says, "Hey, I've got 6,000 Cubs for you." And I'm like, "Oh, I've got to sort some Rockies. Give me some time." I probably do have. I think I have a 4-row box, so I may have. I don't know if it's probably 2,000. I probably only have 2,000 Rockies sorted. So I have to pull some more for him. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Should be live again tomorrow morning. Again, check your local listings. I always wanted to say that. Check your local listings. The Card Life TV show, Bally Sports Network's debut for episode 2 is Wednesday on various regional Bally Sports networks. So looking forward to seeing that finished product when they came to record here. So have a great Tuesday, and we might talk tomorrow.